Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to understand about Terraform modules, how we are going to call or define a child module in a Terraform. Okay, so we are in stack simplify / HashiCorp certified Terraform associate GitHub repository, and we are entering into our section 10 Terraform modules. Okay, inside that we are in the first section of the Terraform modules, which is nothing but Terraform module basics. Okay, so as part of the introductory section, we already understood about the root modules, child modules, and then published modules, and then module basics. So now we are going to enter into something called calling a child module, or you can even call it as defining a child module. So to define a child module or to call a child module, we need to understand about the following things. Okay, for every module we need to have a mandatory thing, which is nothing but the module source, from where that child module you are going to download, or from where that child module you are going to call that module. Okay, so either you can say it as defining a child module, which tells you that entire definition, or calling this respective child module from the source, whatever it is. Okay, but the core thing here is from where you are going to call that child module. So you can say Terraform registry, right? So you can go to Terraform registry. So click on this registry.terraform.io. So you see here the concept of providers. You can see you have 837 providers as on today. And if you see, here are the modules. Okay, 5285 modules, and then still counting. So if you click on this modules button, right, so you are going to find the modules for all the cloud providers or whoever it is, their equivalent modules. You can find them. If you see here, Terraform AWS modules / VPC, it has downloaded so far for 7.8 million times. In the same way for security group, 6.7 million times. For Elastic Kubernetes cluster, 3.2 million times. So like this, for all the AWS related services, you will find equivalent module. So with that, you really don't need to define the resource from basic. Okay, so everything here will be already present, and then you just provide the input parameters for that, so that that respective service in AWS or that respective service in respective cloud will get created. Okay, so for each service of AWS you will find these modules. Okay, so with that said, we'll go here and then search for EC2 instance module. So if you see here, we are going to search for an EC2 instance module. So this is the EC2 instance module name, and let's search for it here. Okay, and it should display as the EC2 instance module in modules. See, this is the one. Okay, Terraform AWS module / EC2 instance. So it has been downloaded for 921.5k times. So this one was downloaded. Okay, if you see, this is the verified by a verified module is from an official HashiCorp partner. So this is about the EC2 instance module, and for every module you will have the documentation here. So the readme file, what it provides. Okay, so Terraform module which creates EC2 instances on AWS. These types of resources are supported. You will be able to create EC2 instance using this module. So Terraform versions, whatever is like 0.12 pin module version to v2.0, that is the story here. Means like the supported versions it is trying to tell us. Anything above 0.12 and then above, you can use 2.0 version of this EC2 instance module, and less than that you can use 0.11. Okay, so with that said, this is the simple example and then usage of writing a module. So you can copy this and then paste it and then start changing it from here how we need it. Okay, so that's about the thing. And here you can see inputs, what all inputs are required for it. You will find it here. Okay, those are the things you need to pass from here. Okay, so you need to provide the inputs for your module, so that using that module you will get that respective service on the cloud gets created. Okay, so that's about the inputs, and the outputs, whatever you can extract from this module and then use in another modules or use that in root module. All those things are called outputs. And module dependencies. Okay, if you have any dependencies with module, so it will tell us. So it is saying that provider dependencies you have, and provider should be anything greater than or equal to 2.65. And resources. Okay, so this is the list of resources that the module may create. The module can create 0 or more of each of these resources depending on the count value. So like this, all the information about the module you will find here. In addition to that, you will also find basic example or how you are going to attach the volume attachment. So some examples of this module also you will be finding here. Okay, so you can see here how you are going to use the module, and then all the information you can find in the equivalent documentation. Okay, so with that said, this is about on a very high level about calling a module or what is a module, and then where we are going to find it and all those things. So now we are going to use this module, and as we said here, so the first two things which are important are source and then version. Okay, so if you see, if you define a module also, you can see source and then version are very important. After that, the input variables you need to define, and then outputs if you want to access, you can access and then display whatever you want or reuse in another modules. Okay, so with that said, we can take this and then start from here. This example whatever they have given, so let me copy this, right, and go back here. And in our Terraform manifest, you can see C1, C2. C1 is versions.tf, which is standard, no changes. C2 variables, we are using only AWS region currently. Instance type, everything we are going to hard code here in the module for now. Okay, and C3 we have put it as AMI data sources, we are going to use as is. So now in C4 EC2 instance module, so whatever the code we have brought, we are going to paste it here. Okay, and source is going to be from Terraform AWS modules EC2 instance / AWS. The same thing whatever you will find it here also, right? And next is version. So it is recommended to always have your module version as per Terraform. So we will use that. And the name of the thing, you can say that, you can say my modules demo. And number of instances, you can just say 2 instances. And AMI, as usual, we'll get the AMI from here. Okay, so which is nothing but data.aws.ami.amazonlinux.id. Okay, so I'll say data.aws_ami.amzlinux. Okay, that should be the local name of this data source, amzlinux.id. So that will make our whatever the AMI ID dynamic. Okay, and instance type is T2 micro, and key name whatever we are using is Terraform-key. If you remember, we are using it from beginning of our examples. Okay, so if you see here key pairs, we'll see Terraform-key will be my key which we will be using. Okay, and monitoring true, that is good. And VPC security group and then subnet ID, these things we need to get from our default VPC. Okay, so I can say here get default VPC security group ID. Okay, and replace. So let me get this and then we'll replace it. Okay, so let's go here and go to VPC, right? So go inside VPC and then get the security group ID of your default VPC. Okay, so in US East 1 region, I have a default VPC here, right? So this is the default VPC, and inside that, if I go to security groups, I should find its security group ID. So this is the one. So let me copy that and paste it here. Okay, and now I also want the subnet ID. Okay, so get one public subnet ID from default VPC and replace. Okay, so let's get that now. So let's go here, and this is the VPC, this is the default VPC. Inside that you have the subnets. So let's see any of the subnets has a public route table. Okay, so in route table, if you see, it is associated with the IGW, so you can consider this as a public route table, and this is the subnet ID for it. Okay, so here is the thing. So this is the subnet ID. So let me copy it and then paste it. Okay, so good. And if you want, you can write something here also. Name is equal to modules demo. Rest of things you can leave as is. Okay, so this completes the creation of your EC2 instance module, which means using this module, you are calling this module to create the EC2 instances. So already a pre-built code is available for you, and just you are passing the input parameters to create the services in AWS. It's the same for any of the cloud providers or any of the things whatever is available. Means like whatever it is, if modules are available, so you can start using modules for your things instead of directly creating the resources. Okay, so instead of creating the resources, you can start using the modules. Okay, so with that said, in our next lecture we are going to focus on creating the outputs for the same. Here I already created and then put it, but I'll remove and then we'll recreate it. Okay, so whatever it is. So I'll see you in the next lecture. Until then, bye bye. Thank you.